Is work satisfaction getting better in your life? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. You know, with all the things going on in the world, political, geopolitical, all the kinds happening after COVID and everything, are people more happier or less happier with their work environment on a global basis here? There was a Mckinsey study put out. We'll look at that a little bit later here. But first, look at this, what they consider the hardest working countries. Some of the highlights there is Mexico, we got Pakistan, Afghanistan, and a lot of countries in Africa are the hardest working. And you can see some of the others, so it's kind of interesting there. We also look at the average income. Of course, it's not unusual here. U.S., Australia, European, and Scandinavian specifically, and of course Africa, India, or some of the more lower ones. The rest are kind of in the middle there. So that's from a income perspective. That's obviously feeds into employee satisfaction. Then you look at Gini coefficient. That's the wealth inequality, and you can see that in Africa and in South America, some of the highest. So you think they'd be the most dissatisfied. Then corruption, and corruption is kind of an indicator of, you know, how things are going in the country, whether or not the country's, you know, laws and even some of the bigger businesses and how they treat employees. Of course, again, Africa, Asia, and South America seem some of the worst there. So that's another important factor. And here's a kind of a map of global emotions, how more stress. So even though the countries that are poor in Africa, there don't seem to be that stress. U.S., China, some of the highest there. So interesting point there. Then we look at the self-reported life satisfaction. Again, Africa is some of the lowest. Afghanistan, some of these are war-torn areas there. U.S. and Europe and Australia, a little bit of South America, seems to have the best in terms of how they feel about their lives. In any case, we'll look into this McKinsey report here. You can take a look at the description box, a post link to get the report there in its full. And you can also look at the AI and what it says contributes to worker satisfaction. But here's kind of a global number. We looked at the burnout rate, which is the middle, and of course the exhaustion. Everybody seems to be exhausting. What seems to be is everybody seems to be exhausted on a global basis. And there's cognitive impairment based upon the work, and emotional impairment based upon the work efforts there. But anyway, here's some of the selected countries that they looked at. And you see the U.S. there is kind of in the middle. India is some of the highest. And even in Saudi Arabia, I thought things were supposed to be good there with all the oil there and Chile. So we take a look at that and kind of look at the countries that have the highest in terms of burnout and exhaustion. It's kind of an interesting thing here that you have Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Singapore, Chile, and India. So we asked the AI, what's unique about these countries? There's different religions, different areas geographically. Cultures are probably different. So it's interesting that those particular countries, when you're trying to figure out what the AI would say is unique about these, and here's what they came up with. And the thing that I pointed out here, work ethic, professionalism, I don't know if that's unique to those countries, but the things that kind of come out with these countries is the hierarchy and respect for authority. You know, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, India, these are very hierarchical, in Japan even. Very hierarchical respect for authorities, and maybe that's adding the stress, and that's why they feel they're tired and stressed out and burnout. And they also have to be more collective versus individualism, so that could be the issue. Do you agree with that? Take our online poll. Are you feeling more or less in terms of work satisfaction? Is it getting better or worse? Follow again the description and the post link, and take that online poll and give us your opinion on what you think. In any case, don't forget to subscribe.